content from Fight Net Radio. If you're watching this or listening to it, you're watching one of the Christmas or listening to one of the Christmas episodes with Andrew, Lee, and Miguel. It'll be all three of us on this particular set of segments. So if you're watching YouTube, click like, subscribe. If you're watching on Mig's channel, click like, subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, click and share. Whatever you have to do, you audio people, I know you want one of those 2-hour marathon, do all the story kind of pieces. I feel you. And so for all of you, go to boxingtonight.io. Make sure you're signed up. I guarantee this Sunday we'll catch up on all the stories before everybody goes on vacation. And for those of you who like these little pieced out little pieces of content, and you're enjoying them all over the internet, fantastic. Just make sure to click it, like it, subscribe it, share it, smash it. God, the fact that I know that word. So happy holidays from Fight Net Radio. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are doing a fight recap of Teofimo Lopez and Sandor. I don't know why I want to keep saying it. I'm joined by Andrew and Miguel, of course, and we are here to look at fight highlights and talk about Teofimo Lopez. I think the highlight, it was a close fight, and Teofimo wins by a majority decision. My favorite, have you guys seen the TikTok video of him right after the fight? Somebody shot a reel of him asking his yes men whether or not he still has it.
Yeah. Want to start on this one, Andrew?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
That I didn't like that. You know, I don't think anybody did, frankly. This is the kind of talk that you have to have back in your locker room. Like, make sure there aren't any cameras around. You know, like
no open mics. Got to be careful of the open mics.
Fucking cameras. Like, you know, granted, you know. And here's the thing. I think he's a young cat, so maybe it's starting to get to his head a little bit, right? Maybe the fame or something. But I myself don't think, you know, he lost it by any stretch. I do think he still has it. You know, Martin is a difficult opponent to look good against. I mean, we saw him against.
Look at the size of his face, though. How can you miss it?
Because he doesn't stay still. He does a fantastic job of moving around, you know. And this was this was a really shitty game plan by Lopez. I'm not going to say it wasn't, because he did a horrible job of cutting off the ring. You can tell here, Martin was basically moving around so much that most of Teofimo's combinations were just a simple 1-2. Like, rarely did he throw off 3, 4, or 5s just because he couldn't keep the guy in front of him long enough. You know, usually what you do with guys who move around, you go to the body, you cut off the ring, you slow him down, right? He did none of that, or at least very little of that. You know, he seemed almost looking for the KO, you know. So he came in with a shitty game plan, but I think, you know, it's just he's in his own head right now. I think it isn't a matter of him saying like, fuck. I mean, him legitimately thinking like, do I still have it? What the hell? And I forgot what boxer, somebody tweeted shortly after this fight that Camboso's ruined Teofimo. Like, somebody said that. I forgot. It might have been Haney. You know, don't quote me on that. It might have been somebody else.
Quite a few.
But, yeah, but it's just it's an exaggeration. It was a bad game plan, and you know, Martin is a difficult opponent to look good against, really. You know, so I don't think that was that. I think the last minute change of opponent, you know, he maybe had most of his training camp geared towards fighting somebody like Pedraza, right? It was his original opponent, Pedraza, and then he switched to this. You know, it was still a southpaw, granted, but it was a different kind of style. So I think that just kind of threw him off a little bit, and that made him question whether or not he still has it. But you know, bottom line is he got the victory. Not the cleanest victory, not the most, you know, pleasing, aesthetically pleasing, but I think he's just kind of maybe a little bit in his own head and saying like, do I still got it? Like, yeah, of course he still got it, bro. You still got some miles and you got the victory one way or another. So not his best performance, but hey, maybe he'll look better next time. Yeah, I still think he's got it, but I mean, I don't think Camboso's ruined him. I don't think so.
Okay, before I get to all of my questions, Andrew, you watched this. You had a score pad in hand. You were sending out text while you watched it. What'd you see out of Teo?
Look, I had Teofimo winning the fight easily. I don't know why he was so hard on himself at the end of the night. The most I could come up with was that he wanted to knock this man out. He's used to the knockout. He's always talking, you know, he was talking real big about the knockouts on Heisman Trophy nights. It doesn't happen. Maybe that's what he was feeling down on. He's really never had a game plan. Look, I thought Teofimo became undisputed was kind of iffy, right? When he fights Lomachenko, there's like 7 rounds of no action. Nobody's doing anything. Yeah, Lopez he had Lomachenko nervous because of his speed. He hit him a few times, but that was just a weird fight. And I could have swore at the end of that fight, when the action finally picked up, it was actually Lomachenko that was winning the majority of those rounds. And then it just continues to go downhill from there for Teofimo's career. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. He doesn't need to fire his father, but he needs to bring in someone else. And I'm hoping that that's why Teofimo said that at the end of the fight. He was trying to plant that seed. He was trying to get that ball going, that they need help. They need to bring someone in. I don't know if you guys noticed. Championship round, last round of the fight. Come on, Papi. Hey, Papi, we need it. Papi, you're down, Papi. Won't you just punch him? Come on. Like, what? This guy, he needs to sit down. He gives nothing to his son. You know, the only thing that I heard him say around the middle rounds of that fight was throw more punches, use both hands. Boom. That was cool, you know, because Teofimo wasn't, man. He was throwing one shot. He's looking for a fucking knockout, and he's not letting his hands go. So that was cool. But what an embarrassment at the end of that fight, calling him Papi. You gotta do it, Papi. We're behind on points, man. And did you see what is it? Disappointment. It looked like Teofimo looks at him like, and I hope it clicked in his head that he's giving you nothing. And the biggest moment of your life at that time is that championship round. You lose, you're out, dude. You got to win. You have to win from here on out. Your dad is giving you nothing. He has taken you as far as he could, which is great. You're a professional athlete who made it to the very top. There ain't nothing wrong with that. And I'm not saying to fire him. He can still be in the camp. He can still go out with you, and you guys can party and do all that together. Because that was one of his other advices. Remember in the Camboso fight, we need to party. Why ain't you punching him? We're going to party tonight. All right? These are the things that his dad has been caught on camera telling his son. Teofimo, if he wants to stay at the top of this game, he's going to have to bring in a trainer that has done it before. He can no longer rely on his father.
Well, that's really the first question, and I'll flip it back to you, Miguel. Based on his lovely little, TikTok, do I still have it? Does he need a new trainer?
Yes. I don't think, like what Andrew was saying, he doesn't necessarily, his dad, I mean, senior, he doesn't necessarily have to be out of the team entirely, right? It's not kicking them out of the team. And as a matter of fact, maybe not even have him in the corner, have him ringside or some shit, but like, he doesn't actually have to be there. There has to be, and I forgot what boxer did this. I think it might have been.
You realize
Jojo
this
Diaz.
is going to be like an Oscar De La Hoya and his dad moment when it goes down. It's going to be ugly.
Yeah. It'll be ugly. It will.
His dad should make the right move as a father then.
Yeah.
Maybe we can press that way.
That's the thing, though. I don't think
he's not helping his son in a very dangerous sport. This sport is dangerous. You don't want your son taking unnecessary punishment, and that's what Teofimo's doing when he goes to a corner in a big-time fight and he gets nothing but rah-rah from him.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because like when you go, like sometimes we see fighters and we ask ourselves like, why the fuck isn't he doing this? Why the fuck isn't he doing this? Why isn't he listening to his corner or something, right? But then we actually listen to his corner, and his corner isn't giving him those instructions either. So it's almost like the corner is telling him like, yeah, you're doing just fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's like, no, you're not doing just fine. This is a difficult fight. This is not some easy shit. So I think at some point, and I want to say it might have been Jojo Diaz's dad, I think it was, that would like brought him to the gym and actually brought him into the sport, and then said, okay, fuck this. This is where my fucking role ends. I can't take you any further. I got to take you to a trainer who can take you to the next level. That is where Teofimo Sr. has to be at this point. Like, okay, I got him to the undisputed. We lost the undisputed. We're doing okay at 140. This is some rocky roads right now. Maybe it's time that he, I get it. You don't want to, fix what's not broken, but he did lose his undisputed title. So, clearly something wasn't working. And of course, they're going to blame it on the illness. I get it. But nonetheless, a good performance at 140 prior to this, and then this not so great one, I would say we would hope that his dad has the presence of mind and the maturity to say, okay, I've taken him as far as I can take him. Now we got to get him someone else to take him to the next level, like superstardom or wherever the hell we can take him, undisputed at 140 if possible, whatever. But yeah, maybe not completely out of the team, but he needs to be out of that corner.
All right, so here's my question, Andrew. You actually have experience with this. How much would it hurt if you were the guy who took Junior all the way to a championship and he loses a couple in a row and said, we got to make a change?
Well, I mean, you can't. I don't know how to answer that.
It's hypothetical.
I'm going to go off of what they're doing in real life, and what they're doing in real life is they're ruining a extraordinary career. Teofimo Lopez has extraordinary talent. His hand speed, his power. Come on, this is a guy that outboxed or was able to box for 12 rounds Vasily Lomachenko, knocks out Richard Comey with one shot, one right hand to win the title. He was on the path to greatness, man. He's probably lost, didn't get humbled, right? God let all that get to his head, but his trainer let it get to his head also. And I don't think his trainer still come off of that. I bet you right now, when Senior enters the room, he's still talking about his son being the undisputed. I put money on that. Didn't they go to the Olympics? Like, they have to know trainers in America out here. They were in the amateurs. They went far. They have to know guys that they should be able to reach out to. Now, that's where Senior might be holding other trainers back, is if he won't shut the fuck up when he's inside even in the background. He needs to separate himself and let his son move on. His son is old enough to go out on his own. As far as me and Junior, I do not plan on training Junior all the way to the top. That's not my league. Okay. I will be with him. I'm going to help him as much as I can, but no, I will not be Felix Trinidad Sr. slapping him in the corner, telling him to wake up. No.
Joining us on the show is Top Rank Bob. Bob, just wondering, what did you get Teofimo for Christmas? A ticket to Oxnard. I'm sorry? What did you say, Bob? Oxnard. I'm sending him to Oxnard for the holidays. Got to get him away from the old man. Thanks for chiming in, Bob. I'm glad to see where you stand. Look, he is in that same category with Mikey Garcia, in my opinion, right, Miguel? He's what I saw, a guy who was more into making sure his style looked good, that his Instagrams leading up to the fight looked great, and showing off the food that he was great, and he's all about his image. Well, at the end of the day, you got to step into the ring, and I'm trying not to be a jerk about this to Mr. Martin. Don't know him. Happy holidays, Sandor. It's Sandor Martin, for God's sakes. You should be knocking this dude out.
Well, I mean, that's. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Miguel.
Well, no, I was just gonna say to my point earlier. He's a difficult opponent. He wasn't just some like dude. I mean, yes, he probably is unheralded and unknown, and the only reason we know him is because of that win over Mikey Garcia. But I mean, let's keep in mind, Mikey, like, he basically retired Mikey as soon as that was done. He was like, huh. I mean, and in all honesty, Mikey got some big ass paydays with the Zone fighting what's his name, Jesse Vargas, and then it got a big payday prior to that against Spence. So it's not like his heart was 100% into it anyway. He was just it almost seemed like he was just going through the motions. So, rather, I don't want to take anything away from the win, by Martin, because regardless, he has Mikey Garcia on his fucking, record. But he's a hard person to look good against. He moves a fuck ton. He's a left-handed fighter. He has great, upper body movement. He gets way out of shots. He made Teofimo miss a lot. Like, look at him. Teofimo couldn't even corner him. So yes, he is the kind of guy that you would think, well,
former undisputed champion of the world
at
really?
one weight division below. At a one weight division below. Understand that 1 weight division below.
3 months.
Right. for like 3 months. So anyway, yeah, yes, we all expected him to come and just mop the floor with Martin, but again, he's a difficult opponent. He's difficult to look good against. He got the win, which ultimately is what mattered. Yes, he didn't look that great because he did get knocked down, and that was a legitimate knockdown. As a matter of fact, I want to say he even got knocked down a second time
because he was concerned with his style. He's concerned with how he looks in the ring. I got to jump in and jump out and do all the moves, and I got to be all dancy and shake it off.
But Lee, he hit it on the head. He hit it on the head there. The man, listen, he beats Mikey Garcia in California. I know it wasn't Southern California, but in California. He comes to his backyard and beats him. And then you drop Teofimo in New York? Come on now. And you almost dropped him a second time? The punch landed. I mean, literally, you go on paper, he probably should have scored that second knockdown too. Look, Sandor Martin is somebody. We don't know how far he's going to go, but as of right now, you don't take that guy lightly. He has 2 very good fights under his belt now. And yeah, that's all you got to say. Round 2, he dropped you. You can call it a balance shot. You could call it whatever. It was round 2. Your power is full strength right there, and he still hit you with the hook, and you went down. He's somebody. I did not have him winning the fight. Listen, what an idiot for running in that last round. I don't know how many times you bought, and it's funny because Martin was like, "Oh, I'm the real fighter. He's the clown. He's the one that puts on a show." And then you're acting like a clown running around in round 12. Did not look like the real fighter. When you're in another person's backyard, you don't give up rounds, especially the last round of the fight where you know everyone in that freaking building is probably going, whoever wins this round gets the fight. You know that's what every hater says when their boy's losing. It's round 12. This round right here is going to decide it, bro.
I will admit, as a Lopez hater, and I am, that I was screaming at the TV, whoever wins round 12 is going to win the fight. And not only that, I think it was round 10 or 11 when I texted Miguel, I think Bob just went to his room. Like he was so disgusted with Teofimo Lopez at that point in the fight because he couldn't get off. I don't know if it's the style, however he trains, or he's training himself, or he's just got so many yes men in the corner. He's like Deontay Wilder. He believes too much of his hype. I'm not saying the dude doesn't have ungodly talent. It's like me saying Deontay Wilder's a bad heavyweight. That's incorrect. He has got one of the most devastating right hands I've ever seen in heavyweight history, right? But if you're not getting trained correctly to throw that right punch, who gives a crap? Same thing for Teofimo, that he's trying to fight almost like a UFC style of jumping in, jumping out. I'm not going to get hit. I'll engage when I want to engage. I'm the class. He's fast as crap. Okay. He's literally got insane speed. Okay. No doubt about it. But I'm looking at wasted talent here. This is a dude who should be mopping the division. He matched speed with Lomachenko, right? So styles make fight. Lomachenko is the perfect fight for the style that he fights. But for everybody else, they'll just bull rush. Look, there's a template here to beat him every time. You just bull rush this dude constantly. I mean, that's what I saw out of Sandor. Tell me I'm wrong, Miguel. All Martin did, he just kept coming at him, and he's not used to it.
I mean, he's. It seemed as though like Martin is more of a counterpuncher, and he was essentially just waiting for Lopez to kind of like come in and essentially like leave himself wide open for him to counter. But
that jump in, almost like I almost want to say it's like a Mighty Mouse style in the UFC. That jump in, jump out. It's the Pacquiao style, right? I'm going to come in, I'm going to engage, I'm going to come out. So Martin sat back and he waited, and you can see it here. He's coming in. He's coming in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you. He's timing it.
He is, and I think this is where part where I mentioned Teofimo's game plan. Like he didn't throw too many combos. Like I mean, the only combos he really did throw were like the simple 1-2s. Maybe he added a 3, but he couldn't keep the dude in front of him long enough to land, more than a couple of punches at a time. And there's the difference. I mean, if you watch Manny Pacquiao with this kind of style, dude, that dude will throw 6, 7, 8 punches. You know what I'm saying? It's like he'll let him
Right.
go. He'll punch in and out.
This is
and
a
Teofimo just wasn't
1-2,
doing
maybe
that.
a 1-2-3.
Yeah. Yeah,
Max.
and mind you, to Teofimo's credit, he managed to get away at a lot of those shots because Martin isn't the fastest guy, and even when he tried to counter, Lopez did a pretty decent job of getting out of the way of it, which is a credit to his speed. But it just was a terrible game plan. He did none. The guy, we know this. How do we slow a guy down? You go to his fucking body. You try even try to make it rough.
You establish the jab. You time it out.
Yeah,
the people who beat
cut the ring on. Look
Pacquiao
at this.
historically.
Yeah, so
I
it was
think
just
everybody
a
forgets
bad
because
game plan, really.
everybody likes this style of fighting. And don't get me wrong, it's great in the UFC. It's great in boxing. It's very successful. But if you look at Pacquiao's career, where he gets the crap pasted out of him, it's guys like Martin. They sit back, they jab, they wait, they counter punch, and they wait to launch that punch on the in. And I just don't like it. I guess it's the style that makes me so irritated because it doesn't really work in boxing. It's not a successful strategy. Tell me I'm crazy, Andrew, but he's got to change trainers, and I don't know if he can change.
Yeah, I don't, when you're saying he was throwing 2 punches, one of them being only a single jab, it just wasn't hard to defend for Martin all night. He knew the jab was coming first, step out of the way from that, and you're out of range for the right hand. He needed to mix it up. He needed to cut off the ring. You got to bring power to a guy that wants to move. Like Miguel said, go to the body. Like there's so many things his father could have been telling him. This is, and granted, I didn't hear everything that was being said in that corner. It's just, it can't be a coincidence that every time that man has a microphone on him, he's giving his son such basic ass fucking instructions.
You need ice. You need ice, son. You need ice. Okay.
Move around and punch.
You should move. Hey, you know what? Maybe you should throw the jab. Throw the jab. I like that punch. Throw the jab. And punch
him out.
more.
Take this motherfucker out. Take this motherfucker out. Like, okay.
Yeah. Take him out.
I think he needs water. Good job, Dad. Good job.
Seriously,
I could use some water.
I hope Teofimo, I hope he's been hearing, because there's a lot of people out there echoing.
Oh, he's taking so much abuse on social media right now. It's fantastic. I love it.
Hey, honest with you, there were rumors of his father getting into it in the Olympics because he wouldn't shut up. And that could be hurting Teofimo getting a trainer, getting someone wanting to work with them. It could be a little bit more than what we're putting out right now about why Teofimo can't get someone in his corner. Miguel might be right. It might be time for his dad not only to take a back seat, but to take a seat in the ring, to take a seat in the where the fans sit. He might be done, because I forgot about that. Yeah, I heard he had to get taken out back one time because he wouldn't shut up.
I'm being joined on the line again by Top Rank Bob. Bob, go ahead. Oh, I didn't tell you about the other Christmas present I got him. All right, Bob. What else did you get him? I'm going to tell his dad and watch and laugh after he's in Oxnard already. It's kind of sadistic, Bob. Happy Hanukkah. See, I worked on a Hanukkah joke. All right, so let's round this all up. Miguel, what's next for Teofimo Lopez?
Well, I'm hoping the fight with Pedraza does come to fruition. I'm not sure if Pedraza has, like, if they already signed somebody else, or I know he's hurt, so I don't think he's planning to come back that soon. So I think it's enough time for him to be like fully recovered, and Lopez have enough time to like come back down and then get back into shape. So it isn't like that quick of a turnaround. I'm hoping they have something like that, because I've seen like you mentioned on social media, everybody coming at Teofimo, from Barbosa Jr. to fucking, Ramirez, or Ramirez promoter, or his publicist. I mean, I follow him on Instagram talking about, Teofimo and Jose Ramirez. So I think that's too much of a leap right now. I think that Ramirez I'm referring to, maybe somebody like Barboza, but even still, I would want to say let's put him against Pedraza the way he was supposed to have been. That would be a good next step. It was supposed to have been a step here, but ultimately it didn't happen. So I'm hoping they can make that fight happen.
Andrew, where do you want to see Teofimo Lopez go?
The ugly side of boxing might happen to Teofimo. When a fighter only has 18, 19 professional fights and is already asking if he still has it, they might pull his card. You're looking at Josh Taylor. You're looking at a Jose Ramirez showdown. I don't know about Pedraza. I'm talking about cashing him out, trying to get him in Madison Square Garden with a big crowd. If he wins, he wins. We move on. If not, at least we got a big crowd. That's what I would. If I'm Bob Arum,
biggest possible fight and cash him out.
Yeah, I'm either changing his surroundings because they know it too. These guys have been in boxing a long time. They know these dads when they see them. You either get him out now, or you put him up against the big fish and get him out of there. He can go fight with the PBC after. So that's because he said what he said after that fight, and the way him and his father got into it, because they didn't have a good ending. Teofimo hella looked not disgusted, disappointed in his dad at the end of that fight.
Have I lost it, bro? Have I lost it? Just tell me, have I lost it?
His dad tells him something. I didn't catch what his dad tells him, but he kind of looks at him he gives him that sideways look, shut your ass up. He was not trying to hear whatever his dad was saying. He wasn't trying to hear it at that moment. Bob Arum and them, they all know what's going on. They'll either get him out of there or look for Teofimo to be in a big fight here pretty soon.
There you go. Hey, go check us out on social media at FightNet Radio. Check out all of the holiday content. We got lots of fights up, lots of reviews, lots of things for you guys to watch. We appreciate every single one of you, and we wish you a happy holiday.